Hi guys and welcome back to the Mighty Blues. My name is of course Cameron and welcome back today to another live stream. It is the game preview to our upcoming Carabao Cup second round fixture against Lincoln City on Wednesday night. Obviously big game for Everton, big chance for us to redeem ourselves after Friday's absolutely shocking performance and shocking result. I think it's coming at a decent time, to be honest, for the club. I think it's coming at a really good time for the fans as well. Like I said, we weren't really pleased where we after Friday's result and Friday's performance. So I think it's a good time for us to be able to, go in playing a lower league opposition. A team that realistically we should be beating. Obviously, it's not going to be an easy game, and it's important that we don't underestimate the opposition. And we're going to talk about that in today's stream. But realistically, a game that we should be going out there, should be winning. For me, should be fielding a strong side and should be taking this cup competition seriously. And hopefully, if we get a decent result on Wednesday night, we can come back. Obviously, we'll be in the half of the third round of the cup, and then we've got Wolves on Sunday then, and hopefully the spirits will be lifted a little bit after Friday's shocking performance. We're going to talk about the game today. We're going to give my predicted starting 11 as well. Obviously, as usual, I want everybody to get involved in the live comments. If you're watching it live, please leave your thoughts on the game in the live comments and leave your predicted starting 11s as well, and we'll go through them. But just off the bat, listen, like I said, I think it's a good chance for us to bounce back after Friday. I think it's a good chance for us to sort of forget about Friday's game, forget about Friday's result. If we get a decent result here, and we see some decent performances by some certain players that maybe necessarily didn't play quite well on Friday, then I think obviously it'll take away from Friday's result, and it'll give the fans a little bit of something to cheer about, and it'll give us something to get happy about and get excited about, because like we said, this is a competition that I say this every year. I think we all say this every year. We need to take seriously. We're not a club that's in a position to just disregard either cup competition, the FA Cup or the Carabao Cup. Obviously, I haven't won the Carabao Cup, or the League Cup as it was called, in years. I haven't won the FA Cup in years either. So we're not in a position to just disregard these competitions and just think, well, we'll field a weak side and we'll see what happens. For me, we should be fielding a really, really strong side. On Wednesday night, we should be fielding a side that's good enough to play in the Premier League, and we should be going out there and we should be showing Lincoln City who is the Premier League team, because they obviously come to Goodison Park in the FA Cup last season, and they give us, they give us a fight, they give us a game on our, on our hands. I think it was the game that Bernard scored his first Everton goal. We beat them 2-1, if I can remember rightly. But at the end of the day, we need to go out there and we need to show them who's the Premier League opposition, and we need to assert our dominance from the start. And I think we do that by playing a strong side, and we do that by creating opportunities and putting them on the back foot from the first minute. We need to be the side that goes there and knows, right, we're going to attack. We're going to create, we're going to score goals. And like I said, that'll obviously lift the spirits of the fans, and it'll lift the spirits of the players as well after Friday's off performance. But we're not here to talk about Friday, we're here to talk about Wednesday. Looking forward, of course, let's hope that Friday was just a blimp. Let's hope that Friday was just a one-off performance. Let's hope it was a one-off performance for players like Andre Gomez, who I've got in my predicted starting 11, which might be a surprise to some of you. We'll talk about that in a second. And let's hope it was just a blimp for Marco Silva as well, because I think it was quite tactically poor on Friday night. You could see that certain players weren't performing from the first 25 to 30 minutes, and he persisted on keeping with the same team until the end. But like I said, it's a fantastic chance for us to bounce back now. It's not going to be an easy game whatsoever. It is going to be a difficult game. It is going to be a game that, we need to go out there and we need to prove that, we're good enough to progress in these competitions, and we're good enough to be seen as a serious contender for these competitions as well. Because like I said, we're not a club that's in a position that can just sit back and go, you know what, just forget about the Carabao Cup. We'll just field a weak team, and if we go out, we go out. Because at the end of the day, obviously, going off of last season, we didn't really do much in the league. We didn't really challenge for anything in the league. And I think we're still in that sort of, in that period in the football club, in that period of Marco Silva's reign, where we're probably not going to challenge for an awful lot in the league this season either. We might put up a good fight for top 6, but other than that, we're not going to be challenging for leagues. We're probably not going to be challenging for the Champions League either. So for me, we need to be making sure that we have a couple of decent cut runs on our hands, and this is a perfect opportunity, obviously, to get into the third round of the Carabao Cup, taking on a side that, like I said, give us a game at home last season, a decent footballing side, a side that we know can, harm us, obviously putting one past us at Goodison Park. We're going to their home ground. They're going to be up for it. They're going to be wanting to make an upset. They're going to be wanting to jump on the fact that we were really, really poor on Friday. So we need to go out there, heads held high, confident as always, and try and get the win and get progress into the next round, of course. Because for me, it's massively important that we go as far as we can in these cup competitions, because at the end of the day, the Carabao Cup is a fantastic opportunity not only to win silverware but also to get to Wembley as well. And the FA Cup's also a fantastic opportunity again to not only win silverware but to get in the European competition. And how many seasons you sit back and, you know, we go out of the Carabao Cup to a lower league team, or we go out of the FA Cup to a lower league team because we're fielded the poor side, and then that team goes on to play, you know, 4 or 5 really easy fixtures and ends up getting to Wembley off the back of that, and you're sitting there thinking, well, if only that was Everton, if only we could have fielded a strong enough team, gotten through them, and then of course rode the wave and you know, taken on the other sides, and it could have given us a chance obviously to get to the final and challenge for winning the competition. So for me, we should play a strong side. We really should play a strong side. I've put my predicted starting 11 to the side there. You can have a little look at that. You can discuss it in the live comments. I'll be going through that one in just a second. Let me just tweet today's team out so everybody knows we are live, and then I'll jump straight into the live comments and see what everybody is saying about this game. Let's try and not talk too much about obviously Friday's performance, because we've done the game review yesterday and we said how, you know, we don't really want to focus on Friday's performance. We can put that behind us now. We can forget about that. It was absolutely abysmal. It was shocking. It was awful. But we can forget about that and we can look forward. Now, like I said, for me, this could come at a perfect time, this game, because it gives us the opportunity to, you know, really get Friday out of our mind. If we go out there on Wednesday, we put in a really good performance. You see the likes of Moise Keane, you know, getting involved, creating opportunities. Alex Iwobi as well, maybe a debut for Sidibe as well. And we go out there and we get the win. Then obviously we're looking forward. Then obviously we're looking to Wolves as well. If you're enjoying the scene, please do hit the like button. Everton FC is the best. Says hi there, mate. Hi, hope you are doing well. Joe Blackler says welcome back. Thank you very much, Joe, and welcome back to yourself as well. Luke says as long as Stecklenburg doesn't play, the defence should be able to handle Lincoln, but with Everton, so not 100% confident like I should be against Lincoln. Yeah, you know, I'm not either, because obviously I was quite confident against Aston Villa and we didn't just get beat, we got absolutely torn to bits. For me, as you can see by my predicted starting 11, I think we should field a really strong team. I do think a couple of the new players should come in. I do think a couple of the new signings should come in. I do think Tom Davies should come in as well. But if you look at that team, for me, that's a strong enough team to play in the Premier League. That's a strong enough team to beat 6-7 Premier League sides in a season, never mind the side in the lower league. So that's what I think we should go with. I don't necessarily think we should throw a load of under-23s in there. I don't necessarily think we should put Jonas Leisel in there or Martin Stecklenburg just for the sake of it being the second round of the Carabao Cup. I think Jordan Pickford starts. I think the same back four starts. I put Sidibe in instead of Coleman, and we'll talk about that one in a second. But like I said, we need to field a strong enough team that Marco Silva should look at and go, you know what, I'd be confident putting this team out away from home in the Premier League. That's the side we want to be putting out. We don't want to be putting a team out where we go, well, you know what, we'll give X, Y, Z the rest and we'll just put a couple of under-23s in, because it's not that important, because this competition is vitally important to our football club. Any competition that can win us silverware is vitally important to our football club. I'm 21 years old in 2 months, but pretty much literally 2 months tomorrow, and I've never seen Everton Football Club win a trophy, never in my lifetime. So I don't want to see Marco Silva playing, you know, a side that we'd look at and go, well, that's probably not full strength. I want to see a side on Wednesday night that you go, you know what, that is a decent strong side. Now it mightn't be the side that we've seen over the last couple of weeks in the Premier League, because I dare say the likes of Richarlison will be taken out because he massively needs a rest, and I would want Richarlison to be brought out. I dare say there'll be other players that won't feature as well, and that's understandable, but it's important that the players that are coming in to replace these players that aren't going to play are good enough to play in the Premier League as well, and are good enough to get us through this game against Lincoln City, because it's going to be a tough game. It's a proper, obviously, you know, a proper football club, lower league football club, come to Goodison Park last season and give us a game ourselves, so you can only imagine what it's going to be like going over to their home ground and trying to beat them on their soil as well. So for me, we need to be fielding a full strength side. Like I said, I think Marco Silva learned his lesson last year with the Southampton game, obviously in the Carabao Cup, and then with the Millwall game as well. I think he knows to play full strength sides in these competitions now, because it's vitally important that if our league form is going to struggle at times this season due to injuries, suspensions, fitness, etc., like, you know, we seen us struggle on Friday nights, we need to be having good cut runs, and I think this is a fantastic opportunity for us to, you know, again, we say it every single year and it's so cliche, but the Carabao Cup is a belter opportunity for us to get to Wembley and for us to lift some silverware, because usually the FA Cup's a little bit different, because you do come across, you know, Premier League teams a lot more often, but in the Carabao Cup you can literally go from, you know, whichever round you join it in, whether it be the second or the third, and get to Wembley by playing, you know, sides that realistically you should be beating. So for me, he does need to start a strong starting 11. I absolutely agree 100%. Luke, can't think of an Everton name, says shite performance. It was on Friday, but like I said, we're looking forward now. We're here to talk about Wednesday's game. Chris says, hi guys, I know I'm a Liverpool Midfield fan, but I'm respectful, don't worry, I'm respectful to any club, including our rivals. Yeah, give Chris a little bit of respect there. Like I said, obviously, I dare say we have fans of multiple clubs watching some of these live teams. Of course, we're all Evertonians and we know that we only cared about Everton, but obviously massively appreciated to any other fan of any other football club, even if it is Liverpool, that comes over and watches and gets involved in the live comments in a respectful way as well. So thank you very much for that, Chris. Everton FC is the best. We normally need to settle in, don't we? I reckon this game will be a decent. Then when we get to Wolves, we will be back to being normal, aka fucking amazing. Hopefully we're amazing against Wolves. Jack says Iwobi, Joe says Iwobi, Sidibe and Keane should start against Lincoln. Yes, 100%, I agree, and we'll talk about why I've put them in just a second. Can't think of an F name. Says Friday wasn't a one-off because the exact same happened against Fulham. It did, and again, like I said, it happened against Fulham towards the back end of last year. But we had a plethora of fantastic performances to counteract that one game against Fulham last year. So that's what I'm talking about. Yes, it's not a one-off in terms of there's issues there that need to be fixing. And we can't just skip over Friday's performance and think, well, you know what? It was just a one-off. Let's not think about it ever again. However, I'm talking about a one-off as in if we really take it to Lincoln on Wednesday, if we can beat them and get through in the Carabao Cup and then go to Wolves and get 3 points at Goodison Park on Sunday, then hopefully we can, forget about what happened on Friday night. Hazard says, hi Cam, hope you're okay. I'm good, mate, I hope you are doing well yourself. Shabba says, we've got no chance, Cam, I'm fed up with them. It's one step forward and 2 steps back, no matter who we have in charge or who the manager is. And while I'm having a rant, fair enough. Listen, it was a very frustrating day on Friday for every single person involved in Everton Football Club, because it was an opportunity for us to gain an advantage on everybody else, and it was an opportunity for us to make what was a good start to the season a fantastic start to the season, and we just couldn't do it. Hazard says no chance, got to take this club 100%. Yeah, we have to take it seriously, we really do, because we can't just skip over it and think, oh well, we don't need to worry about that because we're not in a position to do that. Look at the other teams around us, and I say this every single season when we're going into these cup competitions. Previously, a couple of years ago, yeah, you would have had sides that might have gone, yeah, you know what, the top sides that might have gone, you know what, don't worry about the Carabao Cup because, whatever, we'll go far in the league, or we'll go far in the Champions League, or we'll go far in the FA Cup, whatever. Look at the sides around us. Look at the teams that have won the Carabao Cup over the last 5 or 6 years. Look at the teams that have won the FA Cup over the last 5 or 6 years. It's top sides. Did Manchester City look at the Carabao Cup last year and go, well, you know what, we won't take it seriously? No. Pep went, you're going to play this game exactly like you play any other Premier League game. You're going to play this game exactly like you play if, it was the last game of the season in the Premier League and Liverpool were top and we needed 3 points to win the league. And that's exactly the mentality that we need to have. That's exactly the mentality that Marco Silva needs to have with this squad, putting out a full-strength team and going, well, no, this is another game of football that gives us the opportunity to go further down the competition and potentially at the end of it all pick up a trophy. So we're going to take it as serious as it would take any other Premier League game, because it's massively important we do that at these stages now, because we're going to have to do that later on in the cup competition, because you're going to come up against the likes of your Chelseas, the likes of your Cities, the likes of your Uniteds, who will be taking these competitions seriously. Where are we? Can't think of enough names. It happened against Newcastle, Fulham, Brighton, Southampton and Millwall. Yeah, we were shocking at times last season. We really were, and some of the performances were poor, and okay, Friday night was similar to that, but I think it's a big opportunity on Wednesday for us to I don't want to forget about it. I don't want to say forget about it, but it's a big opportunity for us to sort of make amends, if you like, and put in a actual decent performance, unlike on Fridays. Everton FC is the best, says Shabba. Have hope, mate. Yeah. Shabba says, what about Theo Walcott? He's the only player in the world who comes off the pitch cleaner than when he went on. He was poor. On Friday when he come on, obviously missed a cracking opportunity, an opportunity that realistically a player of his quality should be scoring. So, you know what, that's fair enough. FNFC is the best, says Walker to shit. Fair enough. Hazard says, yes, good team, hopefully a good performance and goals to pick us up for Sunday. Yeah, exactly, and at the very least, that's what we need. We need to pick us up for Sunday. We need to go out there, and yes, winning will take us to the next round of the cup competition, and that'll be absolutely fantastic. But it'll also give the lads a little bit of confidence. It'll give the lads a good feeling about obviously Sunday's game against Wolves, because it's really important that we go out and we put in a decent performance against Wolves, because they are a team that are going to be challenging us for fighting the top 6, going to be challenging us for the top 7 places. So it's important that we go out there as confident as can be, and we go out there believing that we can win that game of football, and not sitting back thinking, well, you know what, we'll probably get turned over here like we did last season. Well, Everton FC is the best. Silver had a team to build a football team. We had no money, so we signed to the eBay on loan. We play from the park with Keane and attack the School of Science. I'm straight back. Come on, Keane. Yes, big game for Moise Keane on Wednesday, of course. If he does start, we'll go through my starting 11 in a second. Can't think of whatever name says. Would you start Baines? I wouldn't, purely because I think I don't want to make too many changes to the squad. I think Luca Dean is, as fit as probably most of the squad are. And again, I think it's important that we start a full strength team, or as good as a full strength team as we can. Obviously not taking into consideration the new boys that'll come in and get a shot as well. So for me, I'd start Luca Dean if he's fit, if he's not carrying any injuries, if he's not carrying any fitness issues. I'd start Luca Dean from the start. Carl says, hello Cam, which player will be holding midfield in your team? In my personal predicted starting 11, I think it will be Andre Gomez and Tom Davies. Now we're going to talk about why I've obviously taken Morgan Schneiderlin out the team in a second, and why I've put Tom Davies in there specifically. In terms of Jean-Philippe Gbamin, it looks like he's going to be out for quite some time. Obviously, we found out before the Villa game that he picked up a thigh injury, I believe it was, insane, and he could be out for around 3 months, they fear. So we're probably not going to be seeing him for quite some time. So it is between sort of Gomez, Davies and Schneiderlin in terms of obviously first teamers to play in that position, and I've gone with Gomez and Davies for this game. Can't think of another name. Just the away form needs to be resolved. It's unacceptable. I 100% agree. Spot on, mate. 100%. Everton FC is the best. You think Davies will play? I do. I think Marco will put Tom Davies in for this game again. It's a good opportunity for Tom to get some game time. I don't think Morgan Schneiderlin and Andre Gomez play well together whatsoever in those holding positions. I just don't think they've got enough energy. I don't think they've got enough pace. I don't think they've got enough urgency. I think they're both players that like to stroll around and like to have their ball at the feet and like to try and do stuff by not really moving a lot, and you can't really have that in two holding midfielders. That's why Andre Gomez and Idrissa Gueye worked so well last season. That's why they complemented each other so much, is because you had Idrissa Gueye who'd do the running round, who'd, do the tackling, who'd get his socks and shorts dirty, and you had Andre Gomez, who was the fancy player who stood in midfield and, was the fantastic footballer, the fantastic player on the ball who didn't really do an awful lot of running around. And I just think Morgan Schneider and Andre Gomez are too similar. Chan says, I think Gylfi should start. It'll be an easier game for him to rebuild his confidence. I agree 100%. We'll talk about that one in a second as well. Shabba says, have a good look at the team we're going to play on Sunday. A team with direction, who knows how to play as a team. A manager who's a game plan. A team going somewhere. I agree, spot on. I think Wolves are doing well. And I think Wolves are going somewhere. That's not to say Everton aren't going somewhere. I think, listen, Wolves obviously spent an awful lot of money when they were coming into the Premier League. They've got a structure there in terms of they like to sign, I think is his name Jorge Mendes, the Portuguese agent, who a lot of Wolves' team is under him. So they've got a specific structure, and they're doing really, really well as well. However, they haven't picked up a 3 points in the Premier League this season, and I granted they haven't been beaten like we were at Aston Villa, and they've played some tougher games in terms of obviously Manchester United, but they haven't picked up a 3 points as well. So, I agree 100%. They are a team going somewhere. Chris says, if Swansea can win the Carabao Cup like they did in 2013 against Bradford, Everton certainly can. You just need to hope Manchester City get knocked out. I rate Everton and West Ham the same, finish 7th and a cut run 2. Fair enough. Exactly like you said, 2013, a few years ago, you did have sides like Swansea, Bradford, teams like that getting into the finals, and I think it's a little bit different now because the biggest teams are starting to take these competitions a lot more seriously, as shown last season with Manchester City, who obviously won the pair of them, the FA Cup and the Carabao Cup. So it's important now that we play a full strength team in every cup competition for me, because again, it's not going to be a luxury where you might come up against a Bradford in a final or a Swansea. You're more than likely going to be coming up against a Chelsea or a Manchester City or a Manchester United in one of these cup finals. Joe says, if we can keep a clean sheet and nick a couple of goals in this fixture, it should help us keep some momentum, bring on Wolves. I 100% agree, spot on. Mike says, Carabao Cup is a chance for a win, and what's better than that? Exactly. Can't think of another name. Says, why do you not go on Toffee TV regularly? And then he says, didn't mean to say think. I'm on there quite a bit. Obviously, whenever they need someone to come on, I'm more than happy to go on and talk about Everton. I've been told by the lads I'm more than happy to go whenever I want, even to just turn up at the studio and film some bits for the Mighty Blues, of course. So hopefully I'll try and get in there a lot more than I have been doing. It's just a little bit of a struggle with work and stuff, obviously, because I work, 8 till 4 Monday to Friday as well, so it clashes with their times a little bit. But the times that I can get in there, I'll definitely try and get in there a lot more often. Reece says you like Alex Iwobi. I do. I think he was fantastic when he come on against Villa on Friday, and I think this is a brilliant opportunity to give him a starting place in the team, and obviously see how he does against the lower league opposition. Can't think of an effing name. Says I would start Davis against Lincoln because he isn't good enough for the league. Fair enough. I'd also start him, but for different reasons that we'll talk about in a sec. Evan FC is the best. Says can't think of an effing name. Davis is a decent player. He was at the first team before Mark would come in. I think he's Premier League quality, but just hasn't been given a chance, so this is his chance. Fair enough. Can't think of enough name. Says Chris, West Ham aren't even on Leicester's level, never mind ours. Again, very fair point. And he also says if we sort the away form out, top 6 is near enough guaranteed, and that's a big part of it. We need to sort our away form out. We need to be better away from home. We've seen that on Friday. We've seen that multiple times last season. We're fantastic at Goodison Park when you've got the siren and you've got the fans and you've got the atmosphere and you've got the feel of Goodison Park. But away from home, we really do need to be better. Chris says 2 Everton more consistent than West Ham. Yes, I agree with that one. And Everton FC is the best. Says come on you Blues, let's show the world what we can do and step up. Yeah, we need to step up. At the end of the day, even though we're playing Lincoln, aside that, you know, when that fixture come up, you look at it and you go, you know what, we should have more than enough quality in our team to win that. We still need to step up because any team in England, for us to beat any team in England, we need to step up from Friday because we were just absolutely abysmal on Friday. And I do expect us to step up, and I do expect us to get that win. And Joe says, almost forgot about Tom Davis. Hopefully this could be a chance for him to show what he's made of. Maybe force Marco to use him more in the future. Exactly, and that is exactly what this is for Tom. For me, this is a chance for Tom Davis to be knocking on Marco Silva's door and saying, listen, I should be in and around this team. John-Philip Cabaman's now out for, you know, a few months. Morgan Schneider and Anze Gomez, you know, have proved that they don't play very well together, so I should be in contention to be in this starting 11 week in week out, and I think this is a fantastic opportunity for Tom to prove that. So going through my predicted starting 11, I'll go through it all at once for the change because I usually go through it in bits and then pick certain players out. So I'll talk a little bit about each player, but I'll go through it all at once and I'll talk about the main sort of changes and the main obviously additions to the team that are different to the team that played Villa on Friday. So I've gone for a back 5, back 4 and goalkeeper of Jordan Pickford in goal. Just briefly, obviously cup competitions, they come round every single year. Previous managers, including Marco Silva himself, may be tempted to bring in a Stecklenberg or a Jonas Leisel or a second keeper because it's the only real opportunity that those keepers are going to get a chance to play for Everton. For me, no, absolutely no need to change Jordan Pickford. No reason to take him out. He hasn't done anything wrong over the last couple of weeks, and he's a goalkeeper, so he doesn't do an awful lot of running around on the pitch. His fitness levels should be, you know, as good as possible. Obviously, he had a short international sort of situation in the summer with England, but he had a decent pre-season, so for me, there's absolutely no reasons to take him out. What we don't want to risk is taking Jordan Pickford out, putting in a Laser, Laura Stecklenberg, and then making a mistake and it all falling down and thinking, well, why didn't you just keep the same goalkeeper? And I'm not saying that would happen, but it is a possibility, and for me, there's absolutely no reason to change the goalkeeper and there's no reason to take Jordan Pickford out. So Jordan Pickford starts for me. I've gone for the back 4 to Luca Dean, Michael Keane, Yerry Mina, and Everton debut for Jibril Sidibe. Now, Luca Dean I was spoken about before in the live chat, of course. Somebody asking me whether I'd put Leighton Baines in. For me, I wouldn't. Leighton Baines has been nursing an injury as well, only just come back from getting over that. Obviously, hasn't played at all this season. You know, didn't play much towards the back end of last season as well. Again, for me, very similar situation to Jordan Pickford. If Luca Dean is fit, if Luca Dean's available to play, then Luca Dean plays for me because I think, again, it's all about putting a strong side out. It's all about putting a side out that we know could go and play a Premier League side and win that game of football, and I think Luca Dean is that player. Obviously, Yerry Mina and Michael Keane at centre-half. Now, we haven't got many options, obviously, with the centre-half situation, but again, I think Michael Keane was caught out on Friday. I think Yerry Mina was caught out a couple of times as well. But, you know, for the majority of obviously the back end of last season, for the majority of last season, Michael Keane was absolutely fantastic. And, you know, the pair of them have played well over the first couple of weeks of the season as well, other than Friday. So those two played centre off for me. I've gone for the debut for Jibril Sidibe at right back. Now, it's going to seem a little bit strange because I'm talking about putting in a full strength team and putting in a team that we know is more than capable of winning a Premier League game. Now, obviously, I don't think Seamus Coleman was particularly shocking on Friday night. I don't think he was fantastic either, and I don't think he's been fantastic for the opening few games of the season. I think Seamus has been decent defensively, and, you know, you could argue that's what he's there for. He's there to defend. He's a fullback. But I think going forward, he's been a little bit shy. I think we we've relied a lot in the first opening 3 games of the season, and you can see it by watching us play. We've relied a lot on that left-hand side, a lot on Bernard, a lot on Luca Dean, and you can see at times in games of football that teams are targeting that. Teams are realising that we rely a lot on our left-hand side, and they're just blocking it out. I don't think we rely enough on our right-hand side, because I think Seamus is a little bit sheepish. I think he's a little bit scared to break that halfway line, to burst forward. He does it a couple of times a game, but nowhere near as many as he used to do it back in the day, obviously, when he was in his prime. And I understand he's not in his prime anymore. I understand he probably hasn't got the fitness levels as he did back then. I understand he's probably not, obviously he hasn't got the stamina to do that for 90 minutes. But for me, I think bringing Djibril Sidibe in, not only will it give the kid the chance to obviously get his debut for the football club, it'll also give him a chance to, again, be knocking on Marco Silva's door, be giving Marco Silva the headache as to who to start in the Premier League, him or Seamus Coleman. It'll give Seamus the opportunity to sit back, it'll give Seamus a little bit of a rest, and I think Sidibe offers us a little bit more directness as well. I think he's a little bit more direct as a right back. Obviously he's a World Cup winner, he's a decent defender, however going forward he likes to use the ball and he likes to play it directly through the middle of the park as well, and I think that will work directly with having Gylfi Sigurdsson and Alex Iwobi in the team, who we'll talk about in just a second. So for me, I'd give Djibril Sidibe his debut. Obviously Marco Silva said last week that he's fully fit. He said that there's no fitness issues whatsoever. I think this is a perfect opportunity to bring him in. He's a World Cup winner, he should be more than good enough to play a side like Lincoln, he should be more than good enough to play in the Premier League as well. And like I said, if anything, it'll give Seamus an opportunity to sit back and have a little bit of a rest for a game of football. So yeah, that's my back 4. I've gone for a midfield 3 of Gylfi Sigurdsson in the 10, Tom Davies and Andre Gomes behind them. Now, I know Andre Gomes didn't have his best of games on Friday. In fact, he was quite poor. However, I believe that was just a one-off, to be honest with you. I think that was just a one-off performance. I think he was fantastic against Watford the week before. I think he played well against Palace as well until he had to be taken off through injury. And I think he's a really, really important player to our system. And I think the thing is with Andre Gomes, I think a large part of the reasons to why he didn't perform fantastically on Friday is because I don't think he can play in that 3 without a player that does an awful lot of running around, and that's why I put Tom Davies next to him, because I think Tom Davies will really, really benefit him in that sort of situation, because he doesn't work next to Morgan Schneiderlin, in my opinion, because the 2 of them, including Sigurdsson in that, the 3 of them, they don't do enough moving. There's not enough energy, there's not enough urgency in that midfield. So you were seeing on Friday night, we were caught out a lot in that midfield because they weren't doing enough running, they weren't urgent enough. Now I think if you put Andre Gomes in there, who we know is technically an absolutely fantastic footballer, and you put him next to somebody like Tom Davies, who will insert that urgency, who will insert that pace, who will insert that willingness to win the ball back, I think you could have a decent midfield partnership there. Obviously it's not going to be anything like the partnership that Andre Gomes and Gana Gay had towards in last season, of course, because I don't think Tom Davies is at the quality of Adisa Gana Gay. However, I think Tom Davies offers us, like I said, that urgency, that willingness to drive forward as well. He always wants to bring the ball forward, and he's never scared as well, no matter how much criticism he gets from fans, no matter how much criticism he gets from, various different people. He's never scared to pick the ball up, win it back, and continue to push forward. And I think that's exactly what we need next to an Andre Gomes, because I just don't think Morgan Schneiderlin provides that. I've gone for Gylfi Sigurdsson in the 10. Now again, didn't have his best of games on Friday night. We spoke about this yesterday in the game preview. I think the thing is with Gylfi Sigurdsson at the minute is I think we're relying a lot on our wingers, and we're relying a lot on putting it to the likes of Richarlison, putting it to the likes of Bernard, and not really using Gylfi Sigurdsson as we should be using him. We're not using him for what his best assets are, and that is his ability to take the ball down, his ability obviously to hit a strike as well. We're not giving him enough of the ball. Now put Gylfi Sigurdsson in there again. He's a fantastic footballer, technically unbelievable. Hasn't had the best start of a season, but obviously got more than enough quality to be the game winner in a game like this on Wednesday night, and that for me is enough to keep him in the starting 11. But again, in that midfield 3, I think he'll really, really benefit. The likes of Sidibe, he'll be trying to play directly through him. The likes of Alex Iwobi as well, who we've put on the left, I'll be trying to play through him as well. So I'll put Gylfi Sigurdsson in the 10. Let me know your thoughts on that one. I've gone for the front 3 of Alex Iwobi, Bernard and Moise Kean. Now this for me is an absolutely unbelievable opportunity for Alex Iwobi and Moise Kean to get their career start at Everton Football Club. Really, obviously we've seen Moise Kean come off the bench a couple of times over the last couple of weeks, and we've seen Alex Iwobi come off the bench for the first time on Friday. But for me, this is a fantastic opportunity now for the both of them to kickstart their careers as Everton players. Moise Kean, it's an opportunity for him to get a start, obviously, continue to create the opportunities that he's been creating for the last couple of weeks. And it's an opportunity for Alex Iwobi to do the same. Obviously, he was on the pitch for 10-15 minutes on Friday, and he already hit the post. He was creating opportunities for various other players. So I think it's really, really important that Marco brings these two players in for this game, because listen, even looking at the players that they'll be replacing, obviously Dominic Calvert-Lewin and Richarlison desperately needs a rest for me. He needs to come out this team now until, for me at least, after the international break, because it's clear that he's got fitness issues. He's clear that he hasn't had enough of a rest, and that's absolutely fair enough, because the lad had a manic summer playing for Brazil, and Dominic Calvert-Lewin really isn't on form either. He, like I said, obviously the effort that he had on Friday night, it's really poor that he couldn't, put that in the back of the net, especially considering obviously the situation that we were in. And I think it'll benefit Richarlison and Dominic Calvert-Lewin from having a game out the team. It'll benefit Dominic Calvert-Lewin because he'd be able to have a game on the sidelines. Obviously he hasn't got that pressure on him. It'll give him a little bit of confidence, obviously, because he hasn't got the pressure of, I think Dominic Calvert-Lewin feels now that he's got to score in every single game, and that no matter, his work rate off the ball, no matter how hard he works, he's got to put the ball in the back of the net. And I think he felt that on Friday as well. When that ball dropped to him, I think Dominic Calvert-Lewin was more bothered about getting it on target and actually getting a clean strike on the ball than looking up and thinking, right, I can put this into the left-hand side of the goal because there's absolutely no one there. And again, like we said, other than that, it's a fantastic opportunity for Moise Kean and Alex Iwobi to get their career started as Everton footballers. Obviously, we've seen glimpses of them so far. They look really promising. I think Alex Iwobi and Moise Kean changed the game for the better on Friday night. I think they were the only bright sparks in the 90 minutes. And again, there's no excuse for us to not play them. We're playing a lower league opposition. Second round of a cup competition, of course. It's a fantastic opportunity for them to both to get game time under the belt. And it's a fantastic opportunity for them both to fit into the system. And again, no disrespect to Lincoln, but play aside, that aren't going to be the level of the teams that you'll be playing week in, week out in the Premier League. I've gone for Bernard on the right. Again, purely because I'm taking Richarlison out. I don't really want to put Theo Walcott in because I don't think he's... I don't think his confidence is there yet. I think again he struggled when he come on Friday, obviously missing another clear-cut opportunity. So I've gone for Bernard on the right-hand side. Again, I think Bernard is a little bit like Gylfi Sigurdsson, a little bit like Andre Gomes as well. I've put a player in each of the parts of the field that could be the difference makers in this game. Luca Dean, obviously, who is our left back that's going to be starting week in, week out in the Premier League, could be the difference there. Andre Gomes in the central of the midfield, defensive midfield, that again could be the difference maker. Gylfi Sigurdsson as well, and then Bernard as well. I think Bernard's a fantastic footballer. Technically didn't have his best game on Friday, but again, he's one of them players that could be a match winner or could provide a match winning assist. So that's my predicted starting 11. Let me know your thoughts in the comments section down below. If you disagree with it, let me know why. Leave your predicted starting 11 there as well, and we'll be able to discuss them. Where are we in the live comments? Let's get on to the live comments. Where are we? Evan FC is the best, says, have you seen that song for Tom Davis? Jeff Oliver, I think the guy's name is. I haven't. I'll have to have a little look at that. Ian says, I'm down after we capitulated the Villa. It always seems if another team need or want it more, we gobshite out of it like West Ham did at Goodison last season. Exactly, and that is exactly what it was on Friday night. Villa wanted it more and Villa needed it more, and we simply were not good enough. And I think you've got a spot on point there, and that's the mentality that we have to get out of this team. We have to change that mentality if we're going to be challenging for the top six and if we're going to be challenging for the Champions League in the next couple of years. Chris says, must say looks a very strong lineup. Exactly, it is, and that's what I've gone for. I think it's a lineup that, again, like I said, you look at it and you think, realistically, that team, every single Evertonian watching this video, every single Evertonian that doesn't watch this video should be able to look at that team and go, you know what, I'd be happy with playing that in the Premier League. I'd be happy if that team was going to Bournemouth away from home, if that team was going to West Ham away from home, I'd be happy that team would be able to get the 3 points, and that's exactly what I've gone for there. I've gone for a full strength team, none of this messing about. Listen, there's been a couple of shouts for under 23 players to be involved. I think the likes of Anthony Gordon, Morgan Feeney may feature in terms of on the bench, but I don't think they should be put in the starting 11 straight away. I don't think they've got enough experience in the first team under the belt, and again, like I said, for me it's important that we play a strong team that, again, we look at and go, you know what, that could win a Premier League game, and then hopefully they'll have enough to obviously to get through against Lincoln on Wednesday night. Everton FC is the best, says England's number one. England's number one. Exactly, spot on. Hasrat says Jeff Hollywood, I think his name is. I'll have to look it up. I'll look it up in a bit. Can't think of an Everton name. Says if we can batter them 4-5-6-0, that could bring the confidence back. Yeah, 100%, exactly. If we go out there, and again, I'm not underestimating Lincoln. I'm not disrespecting Lincoln whatsoever. I'm not saying that this is that. But if we go out and we beat them by 3 or 4 goals, then the feeling is back, the confidence is back. You're going, well, you know what, that was a fantastic performance. That let's go on and, brilliant by Moise Kean today, fantastic by Alex Iwobi, looking forward to Sunday now. And yet all of a sudden you seem to just think, well, whatever, let's just leave Friday because it's done now. We've had a win since then, and we've had a really, really good performance since then. Again, I think it's important that we talk about Lincoln, and we will in just a second, because it's not going to be that easy. I don't think Everton FC is the best. Says Baines is a true blue. I love him. He's a great player. He still is. But we just don't see much of him, do we? No, I 100% agree. He's an Everton legend in my eyes. He really, really is. I think he's a fantastic footballer, fantastic professional. But at the end of the day, for me, we've got the best left back in the country at left back, and you're spot on. We're not going to see a lot of Leighton Baines at the minute. We may see him coming on in Premier League games. We may see him replacing Dean if there's any injuries or suspensions. But we're not going to see an awful lot of them this season, and that's just how it is, and that's how it needs to be as well, because there's no room for sentiment in football. There's no room for sentiment at Everton, and Leighton Baines wasn't good enough and isn't fit enough to play 38 games a season. And we've now brought in a left back that's absolutely unbelievable and can do that. Everton FC is the best. Says, do you remember Mina's dance for his first goal? I do. Hopefully we see that again on Wednesday. Malcolm says, need to give Richie a rest. He doesn't look fit. Spot on. I agree 100%. Everton FC is the best. Says, yes. Malcolm agreed. Carl says, hopefully Sidibe's final ball will be better than Coleman's. Hopefully, fingers crossed. Hazard says, hopefully we can see Mina score and dance on Wednesday. Yes, 100% spot on. John says, think Holgate, Baines and Walcott will play. Hope also Tosun will play. Never Hell again is not good enough for this season. Listen, I'd be up for Cenk Tosun being in the matchday squad. I'd be up for, obviously, Baines, Walcott, Holgate being in the matchday squad. But I don't just want us to bring in players that we look at and go, listen, the way I see it is if you'd have said to me, let's say Wednesday doesn't exist. Let's say we don't play Lincoln on Wednesday, and we look at Friday's performance and we go, right, we need to change that. We need to put out a team that are good enough to beat Wolves. And you said to me, right, okay, Holgate, Baines, Walcott and Tosun are coming in for the Wolves game. I'd look at it and go, well, I don't really think that's an improvement. I don't think those players improve this squad enough for us to take on Wolves and get the 3 points. Whereas, a starting 11 like I've gone for, or many other people have gone for, I think is good enough to take on a team like Wolves and get the 3 points. And that's what I'm going with. I don't want us to play a team that aren't as good as the side that we played when we played Villa, or bring in players that we see as not being as good as those. Not saying that Baines isn't, or Holgate isn't, or Walcott isn't, whatever. But for me, Theo Walcott isn't as good as Bernard or Alex Iwobi at the minute. Even just from that 10 minutes that we seen Alex Iwobi play the other day. Mason Holgate isn't as good as Michael Keane or Yerry Mina, and there's no fitness issues between those two. Leighton Baines isn't as good as Luca Dean, and Cenk Tosun, for me, isn't as good as, well, you can't really say because we haven't seen Tosun, but from what we've seen from Moise Kean, I'd rather play Moise Kean, and that's where I'm sort of coming from. Chris says, I think Everton got a very strong squad. If Keane can get fired and a goal scorer you lacked for recent seasons, Everton can finish in the top 6. I put you guys to be the best place to break into the top 6. Hopefully, fingers crossed. Where are we? Everton FC is the best, says yes. Hazrat, Everton FC is the best, says Chris, I bet you're shitting yourself for the derby right now. Who knows, they're in decent form as well, to be fair. Joe says, definitely want to see a goal from Mina, 100%. Hazard says, lol. Alex says, yes, Cam, can see us losing this. Yes, Alex, positive as always. No, but listen, we need 3 points. And he said that we need the win on Wednesday night. We really, really do. Carl says, I just want to see a goal from anyone. I just want to see us win the game, to be honest. I'm not asked if it comes off bloody Pickford's ass or, Tosun's knee. I don't care. I just want us to win the game. Hazard says, yes, Carl, I say that every week, lol. Yeah, 100%. Chris says, Everton FC is the best. Not really, lol. Goodison Park, definitely, because we got poor record there recently. Fair enough. Everton FC is the best. Says, why is everyone doubting Everton? I reckon we will draw possibly 1-1 or maybe 1-0. Carl says, so do I, Hazard. I predict Lincoln 0, Everton 4. Hopefully, Carl, I hope you are right. Hazard says, hopefully, mate. Robbie says, I'd go similar, but DCL in place of Sig and pushed up as a 4-4-2. Sig was poor the last few games. Think he needs to be pulled and shown he has to get going or he would be on the bench. Fair enough. And you know what? I'd absolutely love if Marco Silva played the 4-4-2 on Wednesday night. I'd love it. I'd love to see Moise Kean up there with, a Dominic Calvert-Lewin, and I'd love for that to continue, as the weeks go on, and I'd love to see Moise Kean up there with Richarlison as well. So I'd be up for that at 100%. I wouldn't be necessarily against Gylfi Sigurdsson dropping out, because you're right, he hasn't been playing well the last couple of weeks. Malcolm says, watching Henry for Monaco, looks like a good player. Gutted that we didn't see him in an Everton shirt. Yeah, exactly. It is gutted him, but at the end of the day, with the issues with his work permit and stuff, there's not much we can do about that. If you're not enjoying the team so far, by the way, please do hit that like button. It means a massive amount to me. And if you're new to the channel as well, please do subscribe. Evan FC is the best. Says Chris, you should be worried about Anfield now because Bet UK will just use along with Siggy and Richie. Hopefully, and hopefully Iwobi. Chris says, yeah. Everton FC is the best. Says basically everyone. Can't think of enough names. Says Lossell, Sidibe, Holgate, Mina, Baines, Davis, Gomez, Iwobi, Bernard, Keane, and Walcott. That would be my starting 11. Fair enough. We'll have to see what Marco goes with. Stoll says Gomez needs a midfielder like Garner next to him. There's a good chance he might be poor all season until we get to Corey type next to him. Midfield is where we'll struggle this season. I agree. Does need a type of player like Adisa Garner again next to him, and I think that's part of the reason as to why Marco Silva was pushing so much for the Corey signing. But for now, we need to make do with what we've got really, and I think Davis is a better fit than Snadlin, and I think Gabaman's a better fit than Davis, but obviously Gabaman's going to be out for a couple of weeks, for a few months now as well. But I agree, the midfield is looking like the place that we may struggle this season at the minute anyway. Everton FC is the best. It's sad that I'm building Goodison Park on Minecraft. To build Anfield, it's easy, just a piece of shit, no offence, Chris. No, it's not bad, it's not. Listen, leave Chris alone. Chris is here, he's enjoying the stream, obviously he's a cop-out and there's always going to be a little bit of banter, but he's being respectful to Everton. He's saying that we've got a decent chance of breaking into the top teams, the top 6, so fair enough to him, fair enough. But no, it's not sad at all, mate. It's not sad at all. Evertonian TV says, hello everyone. Hello Evertonian TV, hope you are doing well. Mike says, Silva knows we need a box-to-box midfield and he decided to raid Watford again. Expect one soon. Exactly. And I think what we can take out of that Decore situation, despite the fact that he's not an Everton player, is positivity, because you can see that that's the type of player that Marco Silva's targeting, and that's the type of player he desperately needs as well. So again, I agree 100% with Mike. Expect one soon. Joe says, if Keane starts and does well, does he remain in the side against Wolves? Yes. Simply yes, 100%. Why not? Why bring him out? Unless he's struggling massively with fitness or injury, 100%. Alex says, Iwobi and Keane look dangerous together. They did. Chris says, what do you think of your new stadium? I think it looks absolutely fantastic, and I just can't wait for it to, be built and for us to be sitting in it watching the Blues. I can't think of enough names. Says, I wouldn't play DCL again. He's not good enough even with Keane. Maybe Moise Keane will, bring something to the team that DCL doesn't, and maybe DCL brings something to the team that Moise Keane doesn't, and maybe they'd make a decent partnership. But that would take, obviously, Silva changing the tactics and changing the formation, and we don't know whether that's going to happen yet. But anyway, listen, it's not going to be a walkover. It's not going to be an easy game. It's a game that, let's not kid ourselves. Despite Friday's result, despite Friday's performance, it's a game that we should be going out and we should be winning. It's a game that we should be putting a full-strength team in, because this is a competition that we need to be taken seriously, and we should be beating Lincoln. We should. Again, that's no disrespect to Lincoln. It's a tough game. They come to Goodison Park and they give us a tough game last season in the FA Cup. Obviously, they put one past us, and they made it hard for us. But on paper, realistically, we should have the quality in our squad to get through on Wednesday night, and it will be a fantastic situation if we do get through, because it'll lift the mood of the players. It'll lift the mood of the fans, it'll give the fans a little bit of optimism, and it'll give the players confidence as well going into what is going to be a tough game on Sunday against Wolves. Obviously a team that will be battling with us to finish within the top 7, top 6 places, so we need to go in there with as much confidence and as much belief as we can, and I think a decent result on Wednesday night can do that. Again, like I said, I think Marco should go with a full 7 team. If it's not the one I predicted, hopefully it's something a little bit similar, and I think we should go out there and win the game, and obviously progress into the next round of the Carabao Cup, and then again, carry on in the way that we go on Wednesday nights. Keep playing full strength teams. Do it in the FA Cup as well, and see how far we get. Because at the end of the day, too many years as being an Evertonian, too many seasons I've seen Evertonian go out of these cup competitions, the poor sides, because we've fielded the poor side, and then the sides that we go out to end up getting to the semis or the final, and the teams that they play on their road are teams that you look at and go, we could beat. We could realistically beat every single one of those teams, and we could have been in a final today. So hopefully Marco Silva doesn't make the same mistakes as he did last season. Like we said, it's not going to be an easy game whatsoever, but we should have more than enough to bounce back from the poor defeat at Aston Villa on Friday night. We're now in the live comments. Joe says, do you know what? Fair play to Chris for not being a terrible cop-out. Well done. Spot on, exactly. Fair play, Chris. 100%. And thanks for getting involved with the stream as well. Everton FC is the best, says Alex. Yes. So says there was a lot of expectation for this season. Fans need to accept that we are in year 2 of a 5-year plan, and things are going to take a while. Spot on, Stoll. Absolutely spot on. We are only 2 years into what is a 5-year plan, and it is going to take a lot of time. And there are going to be performances like Fridays, and there's going to be performances like the one against Manchester United toward the back end of last season, where we absolutely batter top teams, and we just have to understand that it is going to be a little bit of a roller coaster ride again for this season, but it will smooth out eventually, and just have faith in Silver and Brands. Chris says, cheers, John, respectful, and I can take banter. Spot on, Chris, you are absolutely fantastic. Alex says, DCL was hard to watch on Friday. I think they all were, to be honest with you. I think they all were. And Ian says, yes, Sol, yes, 100%. Anyway, that's going to do it for today's stream. If you have enjoyed, please do hit that like button. It'll mean a massive amount to me. Let's see if we can get to 15 likes before the end of the stream. We're currently on 13. If you haven't already as well, please do subscribe. We're nearly at 800 subscribers. That's the next milestone. Now, obviously, on the road to 1,000. The support has been absolutely unbelievable recently. I've got some really exciting things upcoming on the channel. You know, things with other YouTubers, other Everton YouTubers that I'm sure you'll know as well. And then obviously a lot more content coming over the next few weeks and months as well. So a massive thank you to everybody for watching today's team. Chris says, have to go, guys. Take care, everyone. Great team as always. Thank you very much, Chris. Thanks for getting involved, and obviously thanks for taking all the banter as usual. Thank you very much, and I hope to see you back again soon. Still says, DCL strikes me as a player who thinks too much about instructions. He has no natural instincts to score goals, and I don't know whether that's due to him being under such strict instructions. Same thing with a few. Yeah, listen, again, it may be, or it might be that he just doesn't have that natural instinct, and at the end of the day, if he doesn't have it, he needs to get it soon if he's gonna, if he's gonna be continuing in this team. Hazrat says, good live team, Cam. Up the F and Toffees. Thank you very much, Hazmat. And Joe says, great team, keep them coming. Thank you very much, Joe. Don't you worry, I will do. Like I said, thank you all very much for getting involved in today's live stream. It'll mean a massive amount to me if you could hit that like button. Don't forget to join us again on Wednesday night for the instant match reaction to this game. Hopefully it's a much more positive one than Friday's, and hopefully we're sitting here going, is right, we're through to the next round of the Carabao Cup. Brilliant performance, belted at it by Keane, belted at it by Iwobi. There you go. No, I'm only messing. I'm getting too ahead of myself. But yeah, hopefully it's a positive one. And hopefully we're through to the next round of the Carabao Cup. Alex says, say hi to Sally. That I'm not going to say that. But hi to Sally. Cunningham says, wait there, Chris. You're not a CUNT. Wow, I've just won the lottery. Yeah, he's not. He's a belter guy. Chris is a belter guy. Thank you very much, Chris. Carl says, brilliant team, Cam. Thank you very much, Carl. Ian says, up the F and Toffees. Yes, up the F and Toffees indeed. Anyway, that's going to do it for today's team. A massive thank you for watching. Please hit the like button if you have enjoyed. Subscribe if you're new. Like I said, don't forget to join us on Wednesday for the instant match reaction to this game. Like I said, Marco Silva's pre-game press conference to it is tomorrow as well, so don't forget to go and follow us over on Twitter. It's at MightyBluesYT. We'll be tweeting all the quotes out of that, and we'll be keeping you up to date with some injury news, and obviously everything that Marco Silva discusses in that press conference tomorrow. So don't forget to follow us over on Twitter as well. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. Alex says, did you see that rat on Redman TV? Yeah, let them do what they're doing. They're made up that they're top of the league after 4 games, and it was the same last season, mate. Let them be them. But thank you very much for watching. Please hit the like button if you have enjoyed. Subscribe if you're new as well. And I'll see you soon on the Mighty Blues.